back to the Western Edge. I'm your host Tom, and this time today I'm going to be doing a book review instead of a story reading. If I tried to drag out all the numerous books I've read over the years, this would take a long time, so I decided to do a fresh start on a book that I've just read recently, The Ballad of Perilous by Alex Jennings. Being a writer and an author for the past 20 years, obviously not as successful as this, but still someone who knows how to write a story from A to B and everything in between. This isn't too bad of a book. It's actually a fairly interesting read. It kind of demands you know a little bit of New Orleans and Louisiana, and if you don't, then it might be time to take a visit, it might be time to read up, or it might just be time to sit back with this book and enjoy. Alex actually does a pretty good job of explaining the city, so it's not too hard to understand. What might confuse some people is when he gets into the dead zones, the magic, and all the other stuff that's going on in the story, along with the main characters. Perry, obviously, Perilous, aka Perry, his sister Brendy, their friend Peaches, their parents, their granddaddy, the songs that are humans, humans that are songs, so on and so forth. The magic and the wonder in this book is actually it's imaginative. It's nice. It was fun to read. There are a few spots where you might get a little hung up on this or that and might not understand every little point that's being made. But if you let yourself just roll with it, let your imagination just check you into the book and not let go for a while, I actually think it's not too bad. As far as being his debut, Alex, I think, definitely did a good job. Having read this in like the past few weeks, I can say this is a very easy read. It's not too difficult. The language isn't too hard. The culture, the diversity might be a little hard for some people to get into, simply because, like I said, if you know New Orleans, it's a very diverse, culturally, racially, so on and so forth place. There's a lot of different people that call New Orleans home. A lot of people that enjoy visiting it. A lot of people that enjoy the magic of it, the feeling of it. Just like any other place that a person might call home, there's something more that a lot of people don't see because they're either not there long enough or they don't have that connection to it. As far as the lyrics and the music that's in this, that he writes into this book, it's not exactly my thing, but it definitely makes sense for the book. It definitely puts a new spin on it. It puts puts a nice touch on every passage that you see a musical stanza show up. So when it comes to the Ballad of Perilous Graves, I believe I'd give this a solid 4 out of 5. Just because, well, it's actually an awesome story. It was a lot of fun to read. It might confuse a few people if they're not really up to date on New Orleans, or they don't enjoy the style that Alex writes in. But overall, I believe this was a good book. And as my first book review, it's going to be brief. It's going to be to the point. I'm going to say that the writing was great. The story was fun. Every now and then there seemed to be something that kind of tripped up, like maybe the smooth flow of the story all of a sudden went bumpy and jagged at moments. But hey, I believe that's to be expected. That's what makes a great story. It slows you down and it makes you pay attention. So The Ballad of Perilous Graves by Alex Jennings. I'd recommend it to anyone who loves a great story and anyone who just wants to get lost for a few hours at a time. This is Tom from the Western Edge. Do your thing.